If you were to look at expanding business outside of India, what do you think entrepreneurs need to look forward to?
If you want to go global, just give it some time. Okay, I mean, you can't really make the baby before 9 months. You are on Instagram, Facebook, all the other social media. In recognition, if you think about everything that people are posting there, then someone already said, why are you posting there? It's kind of you want a recognition to be there. How do you are recognized? By the likes, by the comments. People are looking for recognition, and that behavior is reflecting inside the company also. As long as you're in love, as long as you're in a relationship, you have to be in love. Okay, so if I look at this thing about company, no one's going to work with you for 20 years. Okay, maybe they will work for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, okay, whatever that is. We have to accept it. But within those 5 years, are you totally engaged? I slog myself on this work, never an appreciation from my manager, affects my mental health.
What's the role of hyper-personalization, you feel? Because now with the new workforce coming into play, Gen Z having a huge play in that, aspirations are also changing. What matters to them is changing. So how we reward, how does that change in the next 5 years? On the Humanscope podcast today, I have Partha Neog with me, who is the CEO and founder of Vantage Circle.
Thank you for having me here, Pushkar. I know I'm excited, and I've seen a couple of your episodes. I think it is a brilliant initiative which you have taken. Thank you for having me.
If you were to look at expanding business outside of India, what do you think entrepreneurs need to look forward to? What are some of the hurdles, and what do you feel can really be a mantra that worked for you to build something outside of India?
See, our primary focus markets are in the US and UAE, outside of India.
Yeah.
Outside of India, there. Uh, when we went into the US, there, everyone told us that, why are you going to US? Such a competitive market,
Yes.
such a mature and saturated market on that. First is don't believe those things. Okay, I think there is every market is saturated before you see a new player coming. I mean, I couldn't think about Google being disrupted. It's like saturated. Everything is search is totally taken over. Don't even do anything on that space. Agree. I mean, those are inputs which you have to take. So first, I'd say that no, I think if you don't plan for is there $100 billion market? Who cares about $100 billion market? भाई 1 million कमाना है, ठीक है? And 1 million कमाने के लिए, do you have gaps in the market?
Yeah.
Okay, there are enough gaps to get those 1 million, 10 million, 100 million. Maybe there's not 100 billion kind of thing, but when you along the way, it will get created on that. So I think that was something that we said that it was there. The second thing, as in we heard these things, but we didn't totally agree to it on that, and we tried it. The second thing is that it was a long-term investment. Okay, we knew that it is going to cost us, but if I don't do it now, after 5 years, we will be in the same spot. नहीं यार, US तो 5 साल लगेगा, right? अब 5 साल लगेगा तो लगने अभी से शुरू करते हैं ना. 5 साल के बाद 5 साल फिर लगेगा ना, तो अभी से करते हैं, kind of thing. So if you take a slightly longer horizon, I think it is there. But the third thing also is, which we had invested in our content marketing. Okay, that we already were getting a good amount of traffic from the US market. So it gave us a base to start off with. Okay, you don't have to be there from day one. You don't have to have a sales guy there sitting in day one.
Yeah.
If you build up some kind of brand building on that, so that is there. But it's a long journey there. If you're willing to invest, fundamentally, I don't see any reason why we cannot get into. Are we big in US right now? No, we are not. But think about it. So we are in Gartner's customer choice in the R&R space.
Yeah.
There are only 2 players globally.
Wow.
Okay, we and one more US company who have been there for like 27 years there. And we are the only 2 customer choice there. In G2 ratings, the G2,
Yes.
the review things, right? So we are always there in the top 2-3 players there. So that has given us some, traction, initial traction in the US. But if I I mean, I would just say if you want to go global, just give it some time. Okay, I mean, you can't really make the baby before 9 months. Okay, there's no way. Okay, how much money you spend? If it's a retail business, it's a slightly different thing. But if it's a B2B business,
Yeah.
how much money you spend doesn't matter. It might speed up from 5 years, you might become 4 years or 3 years, not beyond that. Okay, so yeah, that's how we look at the international expansion.
Wow. In our case as People Matters, I think one thing that we learned was understanding cultures was everything.
Yeah.
That sometimes you have the money because you'd spend some money, you'd spend time as well, as founders, as the management team, but how close you can come to that geography, the people over there, connecting with them, understanding them. And I'm not talking about from a business standpoint, that you would anyways do in a B2B part, but understanding each others as human. And I think that's such a interesting, I would actually term it as a skill.
Yeah.
That how well do you understand cultures? Because that, I feel, is a big make or break on when you expand into different countries. Because the day you understand their life problems and challenges, which are of course beyond your business, I feel that's where you really put yourself forward, and you are at a position where you can do a lot of things by empathy, by care, by really looking at what makes them successful.
You made a very important point. I mean, it's like you have to be actually you have to unlearn a lot of things.
Yes.
Okay,
So true.
we were in India. We looked at things differently. When I went to the US, it looked like a small problem. Okay, but there it was a very important critical thing.
Yeah.
यार ठीक है सर, एक दिन डिले हो गया, ठीक है ना, कौन सा बड़ी बात है? तो वहाँ पे like doesn't matter. You can take 12 months.
Yes.
But if you say 12 months, it should be done in 12 months, right? The trust factor for India, like, chalta hai. And
Yes.
I'm not saying good or bad. It is the
Yeah.
way it is there, right? So India, we can. So I think unlearning is very important. The second point which you said about this. So I stayed like almost 2.5 years in UK in my like 2001 to 2004. So this, you again connect the dots back. Okay, so it was not like the first time I had done business in the Western world there. I'd already stayed there. I'd worked and I had friends, and also cultural things. I had an understanding. I not say that I understand the culture that much, but at least I had understanding the different viewpoints. So I was working with Nokia at that time. I mean, big company, and I remember in my team there were about 6 or 8 countries people there. You know, Finland people, South African, English, of course, the England guys, they're there, Chinese, Spanish, all in a small team of about 20 people.
Yeah.
That give you the sensitivity and the empathy to understand that there are different viewpoints on that. Not that I understand any of the cultures, but at least you got the understanding how to deal with it, that different people have different viewpoints. Something which looks very strange to you is very normal to them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, very important.
Yeah. And I think trust plays such a huge role as part of that expansion piece. The sooner you're able to build that, the better it is. And for that, you need to go all in. And I don't talk money sense, because money nowadays is given, you will need to do that as investment. But are you going all in as a person that I'm going to come and sit next to you and solve for it? I think that really matters. What we've experienced is people genuinely want to, if you are authentic, people genuinely want to help you.
Yeah.
Very rarely that we've come across that no, people don't mean good for you. So if you have the right intention and you're driven by the right purpose, I feel there are enough people in all markets who want to really help you and bet on you.
I think by general, if you don't have that belief, you cannot survive as an entrepreneur. If you're thinking that everyone is after your life or are bad or something, and I've seen it in my journey. Okay, every different people have helped in different ways there, and you talked about trust factor. So in the US, that they need to trust you. See, a B2B for large, particularly enterprise companies, they cannot look at every product feature and compare. Okay, they look at it basics. Hai. Beyond that, it is like, I trust you. Okay, on that. So I make my trips there to say that, okay, we don't have this, but I'm the CEO and I'm giving you the assurance that it will be done, kind of thing. So that people feel confident about it. It trusts. See, there's this old saying, right? That no one gets fired for buying an IBM, right? So, I mean, I'm talking, this is maybe a 20-year-old
Yeah,
thing which
yeah.
is there. Nowadays, I don't know about IBM, but at the time it was like no one. So people are risk averse. They don't want to take a bet on something which is a risk to them, okay, from the career point of view. So how do you build up the trust? And some people will take that extra call, and you have to be always thankful to those people who have done that. I know in India, for example, in Wipro, Sunita and Sumit, who took the bet on us.
Yeah.
They could have like said, nah, we don't know about these guys. Have they managed this thing? We spoke and we built up the trust, and like, okay, we can do that. Infosys, anyway, I've told you that Deloitte, the person how they have done it. I think the trust is very important to build up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You touched upon a very interesting thing, Partha, on the founder giving that comfort. And you mentioned IBM. So, one of the stories that comes up is of Rudy Carson. Rudy built Kenexa, which later IBM bought.
Yes.
In the and this is a story that Rudy had narrated. He was an early believer of People Matters. Uh, Rudy would actually go to customers, the initial large big customers, and tell them to their face that, you know what, at some point of time my product will stop functioning, and that is for certain. So if you are here to seek a trust that, you know what, my product will work 100%, I am not selling that to you. But what I'm telling you is, when that will happen, I'll be sitting next to you, making sure that it is functional and it is aligned to what you need in the most fastest way. That's my promise to you.
Absolutely, and people love underdogs.
Yeah.
Okay, so so people always are more supportive of this thing, and I think this can be a competitive advantage. You know,
agree.
to where you go and build up the trust, because you know that your competitor, who's like maybe a very big guy, the CEO is not going to come to that
Yes.
meeting. Okay,
Yes.
you go to the meeting, you build up the trust, and I don't know if you know this ad, Avis and Hertz. So Avis was number 2. I mean, the car rental
Yeah.
company, right? So Avis was number 2, I think. Yeah. So they used to advertise, we are number 2. We try harder.
Yeah.
Okay. So they were calling out themselves. We are number 2, but we try harder because we are
Yeah.
number 2,
Yeah.
right? So I think that's very important to build up and give the trust to the decision makers. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. I think that's the journey a lot of entrepreneurs would want to sort of take note of, as you've built some of that as well, and build on the whole aspect of bootstrapping. I'm sure you get this question quite a lot. Do you feel you should have picked up money, or you actually feel good that no, equity didn't go, and I'm happy that we built Vantage Circle this way?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Depends on when you ask this question, right? So it was a struggle. Okay, it was a struggle, and where we used to live month on month kind of a paycheck, still almost 2017, 18. Okay, and that was, I'm talking about 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
Okay, like, okay, where will it come? The money is there, but the clients is not paying. आएगा, 2 महीना delay हो गया तो क्या
Yeah.
ये 20 लाख ही तो है, मतलब 2 months later on it will come in.
For them, it's 20
20
lakh.
lakh. हमारे लिए it's
हमारे
like
लिए
मेरा
it's
पूरा
life and
company
death.
बंद हो जाएगा kind of thing, right? And I remember going to a bank and asking for a 15 lakh loan with our current account being with them. 15 lakh में जितना questions पूछ लिया ना, and then rejected us. मैं बोला कि अभी धंधा दूंगा तुमको, रुको, ठीक है? After that they kept on coming and never gave them any business because they said, you didn't give me a 15 lakh loan. Okay, 15 lakh, 5 lakhs, right? And anyway, so what I was saying was that we had tried raising funds.
Yeah.
Okay, it was not that we didn't try raising. So we had been trying for a long time. We didn't get it, and I totally understand today why we didn't get it. Okay, it is not going at a very fast rate. Okay, we were always very slow on this thing. We were slowly building up things because we didn't have money. It was, the constraints were there. If we had money, maybe we would have gone for all Google paid ads. When you don't have money, you do content marketing,
Yeah.
right? I mean, at the time it was more that if you don't have money, then you do
Then
content
you
marketing. Otherwise, you do paid ads on that, right? The basic stuff. So now when I look back at it, I think we are lucky, because if we had been paid sorry, as in like if we had been invested in by
Yeah.
institution, we raised about 200k USD from HNIs which are there, but from institutional investors, if we had raised the money, I don't think we would have been still alive. We would have been sold off for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because 9 years, who gives you 9 years? I mean, then 9 years में कमा नहीं रहा है तो मतलब out. Okay, out
Yeah.
as in like you sell it off to someone and they exit there.
Yeah.
Very relevant from their viewpoint on that, right? But for us, today when I look back, I think we're lucky that we don't have it. And also it has to be part, particularly founders who are in a slightly later stage of their life. I mean, I started when I was 37 or 36, something like that, right? Uh, at that time, the journey has to be fun, okay? If the journey is still that, oh, I have to justify everything, this
Yeah.
thing, that thing, okay, all those things, then why did we even start off with that, right? And it's very contextual also. Different companies, different industries, different thing. I'm just talking about my journey, which is there. We looked for money, we didn't get the money. If we had the money, we would not have survived now because the business would still have been the same. Na?
Yeah.
मतलब थोड़ा advertise कर लेंगे, I would have done more of the People Matters events. But that's it, right? I mean, my business would not have grown that much on that. Maybe I would have hired a couple of good people. Most likely it would have happened that way. But today when I look back at it, I think it is a good thing we didn't raise money. Okay, should we raise money? I mean, there are different thoughts on it, so I don't want to
Yeah.
comment on it. And different industries, of course, which is there. So, but it has given us a longer time frame.
Yeah.
And today, also, I'm looking at the next 10 years. Okay, I'm saying 10 years, and I give the example of Haldiram.
Yeah.
I think I spoke to you once on that.
Yes.
Uh, it has taken them ages to come to that stage of where they are. But look at them where they are now. And fine, 25 years we will spend in this company. So by the time I am 60, maybe this company will be well established then to take on the rest of the challenges. The foundations are being built up strongly. And what would I do in this period? Okay, some money raising may be good for different purposes.
Yeah.
But I think if I look back, thank God we didn't raise funds.
Yeah. Yeah. I have an interesting story and an analogy for that. What I've seen and experienced and done mistakes as well. When you don't have money, you start thinking how you can do it. What are the alternates that you have to make it happen? When you have money, immediately the mind goes, how much will it take
Yeah.
to make it happen? So suddenly you are thinking in money terms of solving anything. Your mind is not tuned on, okay, I don't have it. So what are the alternates of making that happen? Those are complete two different ways. And I feel that, even when some entrepreneur raises money, how can you be on the first mode still is a lot of
Very, I
interesting
mean,
space to
our
be in.
content marketing journey, I'll tell
Yeah.
you, we started in 2017, the content marketing thing, no money. So, right, so get one guy to write some blogs, right? And I didn't believe in that. My co-founder, Anjan, who's there, so he said, no, 20,000 rupees only, no, we'll guy, let him write something.
Yeah.
Okay, and some whatever HTML tags and all those things for SEO thing, which we'll do it. But we kept on doing it. 2019 April, we had 4,000 unique visitors to our site. Okay, 2019. 2020 January, we had 125,000. 2021, we had 21, almost like something like 600,000. And then at our peak in 22 or 23, at our peak, it was about 1.5 million unique visitors to our site. And we are not a content site, right? We are a business, and and because this team was doing it on that, and none of these guys had any Google certification or some degree or something, right? Karte raho, likhte raho, and we'll keep on figuring out how to be that. And I keep on giving that example on that. I mean, how it has compounded, okay, over the years. I mean, 2019 April, how much we were, and how and that helped us build our brand internationally. I talked about we were getting traffic in the US, right? So, so you're right. I mean, the constraints make you think creatively.
Yeah, I believe so. And to your point on compounding, so many times, so many brands, founders would come to me, to People Matters, saying that, what's your advice on building a brand? Uh, and I was like, brands are built in a marathon stage and not in a sprint stage. Unfortunately, every single person comes कि brand बना दो 6 महीना है.
Eh, eh, eh.
And as People Matters, we have this philosophy, by the way. You ask any sales team member in People Matters, if we don't believe that we can add value, we'll say no to business. uh, it's only when we see ki, yeah, we can add value is where we'll say yes to business. And I think that's an important piece. So people who would come to us saying that, you know what, we'll do one event to make a brand. I was like, you do the event with us, but let me break the story to you. It will not build your brand. That's not what you're signing up for. If you want to build a brand, this is a 3 to 4 year journey. This is how we can support you, but that's the right way to do it. So sometimes just being honest is really, really important.
I said like competitive advantage. I think this brand is going to be the differentiating factor.
Correct.
Okay, if you give it enough time, and then so no new upstart can come and just suddenly change it. Okay, particularly for a B2B business,
Yes.
which is there.
Yes.
So it's definitely like a direct focus area. It should not be just like happens as an afterthought.
Yeah. Then it pays. Like if you Google employee engagement data today in India, I think Vantage Circle would be third or the fourth link.
We're not the first.
Huh?
We're not the first. Okay, People
uh,
Matters is first.
leave that for People Matters because that's our business.
Right.
Actually, majority of the keywords that you would find, a lot of them, People Matters would surface, because what people don't understand is no one has data of 15 years.
Yeah, of course.
No one has content of 15 years. It's a compounding of 15 years of input. Many a times people ask me that, how do you know? I was like, I have data of 15 years on what the community reads, what the community's challenges are, what they are facing, who thinks how, which geography thinks in which manner. And I think that's the real asset, right?
True. Yes. I mean, hey, think about every company, right? I mean, Tata's and all these guys, they have built up over the years, okay? If you give enough time, as I mentioned earlier, if you give enough time, you can do anything, okay? But if you think those haal mein mujhe, I have to get to a valuation of this much it's possible. Many people have done it, but it's a tough journey then.
Depends what you're running. No? Are you running a marathon or a sprint?
Right.
Both have their own ways of, approaching.
True.
I think in long term, institutions get built on the marathon strategy. Is what I believe, or what I feel as well. And there are enough number of examples as part of that.
True.
Yeah. I want to deep dive on this whole now concept, because you've been someone who's seen this space for a very long time. The whole engagement, rewards, recognition. There are a lot of new stuff around well-being that has got added as well, as part of the thing. What do you think is not right in the employee engagement space till today? Like what we are not able to fix?
See, I think the employee engagement's definition of the employee engagement is constantly shifting, and we have to be aware of that. If I look at engagement 10 years back or 15 years back, it was something different. Okay, you had to take care of the basics. The salary should be proper. Some practices like your canteen food should be there, buses to home should be there. Those were the basics of it. So when I joined Hughes 25 years back, they had taxi services. Anytime you want to go home, you can just take the taxi and go home, kind of thing, right? I was happy. Canteen food was there. Badhiya hai, canteen food, a 5-star class food was there.
Khana mil raha hai, taxi on the go.
I was satisfied. And I still keep on talking about Hughes. What a wonderful facility it was there. Adish was the HR head at that time in Hughes. And I keep on saying that is. But as we have come now, it is different. Food is a given. Transportation is a given. Okay. Now you have to start thinking about others. So I think that this, instead of companies have to think about how they think about engagement on a continuously evolving space. Wellness, very big concept. Okay, but wellness, does it mean 2 yoga classes? Okay, does it mean a health checkup once a year kind of thing? No, wellness is about not just about physical or mental wellness. It's inside even the company. If you are getting recognized, that's a part of feeling good. Feeling good is also a wellness thing, right? You like coming to a company. You like coming to work, waking up in the morning and coming to work. How do you make that happen? Different companies will be different there. Okay, for example, if I say that you're working with Elon Musk to go to the moon, you give a damn about whether they have given you food or not, transportation, because you're mission driven. Your purpose is like go to the moon or an ISRO or something like that. People are not working for money only there because they have a mission to or a purpose to go there. But some other companies might not have a big purpose. We would not have that kind of purpose to really motivate people there. But our purpose is slightly different. How are we, our employees, getting motivated? We, a small company based out of Guwahati, Assam, which has no tech, other tech, large tech companies which is there, we are able to fight the US Goliaths which are there, right? And that such a small company can do this thing is giving the excitement that we are coming the Gartner's customer choice. That is motivating them on that. So I think those purposes will be there, but beyond the purposes, there are very few companies which can do that. But how do you keep them motivated? How do you engage these people? Every company has to define their own engagement stuff depending on the stage of the journey, right? Initial days, survive. For us, I mean, if I take an analogy about our company, initial days, survive. That's the purpose for us, survive. Next, okay, can we really beat the large companies, competition which have been there for like 25, 30, 40 years, which are there? That's the purpose. I mean, nothing, no enmity against them. It is just like a fun thing to fight against
the big gorillas.
The big gorillas. I mean, we can do this thing. So that's the purpose now there. And then the engagement, culture, all these things have to be defined on a continuous basis. We can't keep it static is my only input to this thing.
Okay. Do you think organizations are doing enough as CEOs? Are CEOs doing enough? We put the CHRO at the spot. I would love to understand from the CEO perspective, like, if you put all organizations, are the CEOs doing enough to make sure that my teams are motivated, engaged, up and kicking? That's what drives life.
I think they are doing. I think any good CEO is doing, but maybe they are not visible enough in doing that. Okay. For example, inside our company also, that we have some basic principles. On those basic principles, are we doing enough on that? Maybe they are not visible. Maybe they should be more visible about talking about that. Yeah. We hear someone talking about 70 hours, 50 hours, weekends working and all those things. But those might be out of context. Okay, I think they would have spoken in certain context. I might also joke sometime on these things. I mean, who knows how people take it. Yeah. But I think they have been taken out of context on that. CEOs also know, right, that if the company, the team is not there, how will they run it? Yeah. Okay. And they also know that today's world is different. It is not just about paying the salaries. They have to be much more than that. Yes, you get tempted to say that just pay them 50% more than the market salary. That's it. I mean, why do I care about anything else? Yeah. But then there is always someone who can pay another 50% more, right, on that. So but to answer your basic question, are they doing enough? I don't know. I cannot answer for people, but I'm pretty sure logically they are thinking about it because they know the importance of the key people. I not say every person. The key people in the company is very important. Only that way they can survive the next few years.
Because the disengagement rates haven't gone down, right? And with multi-generational workforce coming into play, the engagement rates are still at a very red zone, if I was to put it. What do we need to do differently, Partha?
So I think this connects to my previous point here. So we do something, and then now the goalpost is shifted, right? So I think that continuous evolution on that okay, work from home we have to give there. Okay, I'm not a big supporter of work from home. I know I will get some big bats for that, but work from home, fine, we have done it. Now work from home is a given for many companies, at least for a 1 day or 2 days kind of thing in a month, in a week, something is there, right? So that's given. Now we have to move on. So I say, Oh, we gave you work from home. Still you're dissatisfied. Yes, it was 2 years back you gave me the work from home. Now you have to give me something else. So the evolving, which I said about this whole, you have to constantly evolve in that kind of thing. Even how the rest of the world is evolving. So, for example, you are on Instagram, Facebook, all the other social media. In recognition, if you think about everything that people are posting there, then someone already said, why are you posting there? It's kind of, you want a recognition to be there. How do you are recognized? By the likes, by the comments. That is a recognition of it, right? By the number of views, that's a recognition of your of whatever you are doing. And people are used to this recognition. Let me post up. I mean, I go to some fancy. Let's say I go to Antarctica and post photographs, and no one likes it. I'm like, my whole Antarctica trip is wasted, right? So the people are looking for recognition, and that behavior is reflecting inside the company also. They are looking for recognition. Now, as a 50-year-old, I may say, पैसा तो दे रहा हूँ, ठीक है, बढ़िया खाना दे रहा हूँ, I give you all the facilities, I give you medical insurance. Why are you asking for this? Because I'm got used to this kind of behavior outside. Okay, everywhere on LinkedIn, I'm posting, I'm looking for likes, I'm looking for what top voice something, right? In LinkedIn it keeps on top voice of something. Everyone is doing it. That behavior has to be reflected in their internal policies also on that, right? And it's difficult sometimes to put yourself in the shoes of a different generation there. I think there has to be conscious effort to made to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. What I liked about your thought process is the goalpost is changing.
Yeah.
It is moving further because I feel the aspirations are also changing. And different countries, if I was to put it, are going through a different cycle of evolution as well. Where their workforce is, what's the maturity, what's the GDP rate like, and accordingly the needs change, and then the behaviors need to be driven in that
You
same
put my father in my company, he'll be saying, "This is heaven,"
way.
right? And like everything you are giving, why are you leaving this company? I mean, when I left my Hughes company, my father was saying, they've given you such a good salary. Foreign trip भी दे दिया, ठीक है, foreign trip भी दे दिया, ये भी हो गया, and why are you leaving this company? I was like, no, that is, for me, the goalpost has shifted, right? So I want something else on that. So I think that continuously people should, the HR should be very conscious about it, like almost like looking at the societal changes which are happening.
Many times I think we keep on looking in the rear view mirror without thinking that, okay, actually it's the front view that's going to sort of take us ahead. And we keep on benchmarking, and I always say this, especially on engagement. I think a lot of dollars are spent on measuring engagement than enabling engagement. So if that can shift a bit more, and also rather than a rare view looking things and benchmarking, can we have a forward looking thing, especially because the goalpost is shifting anyways
Yes,
constantly.
and that's why the disengagement rate will remain the same. Disengagement is not always bad, by the way. Okay, disengagement.
Okay.
When I say by disengage, so you're looking at a controversial point, right? So disengagement. When I say disengagement, I look at a different point. The satisfaction. Okay, people are never satisfied, right? So in life, I forget about work. Okay, they're never satisfied. If you're satisfied, you are dead, right? I mean, there are very few people who are satisfied. If I, as a founder, was satisfied with what we have achieved, there's no growth in my company, right? So I'm unsatisfied there. But if I look back 5 years back and now I'm like, this is heaven. 5 years back I was having high blood pressure, right? Salary kahan se aayega, ye kind of thing. But it has shifted now. So I think in companies also people are looking for more and more. The satisfaction is never, they're not satisfied, which is not a bad thing. They're looking for more. They're looking for more on that, right? And HR has to evolve on that, yeah.
Since you have so many customers in different geographies, do you feel cultures have a huge role to play on recognition? Because there are societies where recognition is quite a thing, and then there are societies where it comes hard. So then, do organizations and leaders need to also put disproportionate effort in areas where it is not? What is your take on this entire piece?
See, recognition, I think everyone likes recognition. The degree to what they like is different, might be. Okay, how they want to be. And that is slightly privacy and how private the people are, how individual these people are. For example, in Europe, what we have seen is they don't want they not too much into social networks. Okay, in Europe it is less numbers which are there, and they're okay with their own private lives. They would go on their solo hiking trips, which are there. They're not, so they're okay with that. Okay, in India we need friends, family all the time, right? Which is there. So recognition, but everyone, even the European person, if you give a recognition, okay, they like it. Who doesn't like recognition? Okay, that's the fundamental thing. Now, the degree to which they like is different. Okay, so India might be like elated. This guy in India, this guy in Europe might be like, okay, thank you for giving me this recognition there. So there's a difference in that, and but I think that is like at a later stage how we calibrate that. I think right now to abhi start to karo recognition. I mean, using a system to recognize people, at least start doing it. Yes, it's different, but that's a problem to solve later on. Right now, at least have a way to recognize people. Okay, and look at rewards and recognition more from a recognition lens. No one started a rewards and recognition program to give any $100 to someone, okay, or 100 rupees or 1,000 rupees to anyone. They started a recognition program so that they could encourage certain behaviors, certain actions on that. But it ended up being that how do we distribute this gift card? How do we distribute this mug, or how do we distribute? Will the delivery happen on time? How will you take return? I mean, that's the least of your problems. That is not rewards and recognition. That is just a catalog part of it on that. So the focus has to be there on the recognition part of it. And yeah, I mean, there are different cultures, but that we can come to at a later stage. First, at least basics karo.
Okay, get the basics in place. You touched upon behaviors, Partha. In your experience, what kind of behaviors some of these initiatives have been able to really enable
Right.
for organizations, and you've seen a shift in the way it contributes to the workplace or the organization's success?
See, I think if you see this company mission, vision, all those things were always there. Okay, it's not something new. But how do you communicate these things? You would have a CEO mail once in a year or maybe once in 6 years. One town hall which is there, and those posters in the hallway and the meeting rooms. That's all. First, to Abhi's situation different. People are working remotely. Okay, so they don't see this stuff. And you have so many different locations. The town halls also, it'll be like they don't come in regularly to the town halls. Maybe they will be joining virtually on that. So I think this whole behavior, but what do you want to drive? How do you communicate these messages? I think that's where this well-developed recognition program promotes. These are the behaviors which you want to promote. For example, in our company, one of the behavior is we're saying there's a value there, but beyond the value is sometimes little amorphous for people to understand. But what are the behaviors which tie up with those values? For example, ownership, responsiveness. Those are behaviors which we say that you have to be responsive to people. You have to take ownership of that. These are the behaviors which are there, and we recognize those behaviors. And when they see that Pushkar has got this, award for being taking ownership, others this behavior gets reinforced on that. People are seeing it all instead of the town hall once in a year. They're seeing it on a regular basis there that this behavior is, and they're also able to correlate. Why is Pushkar getting this ownership behavior? Because he has shown these things. Okay, so others can go, oh, this is what ownership is. This is how it is tied up with our value. Now, coming to the second part of your questions, I think Wipro is a prime example which we have seen. Okay, so Wipro has something called 5 habits. Okay, they want to drive those 5 habits in the company. And how do they drive this? They're using this platform called the Winner Circle, which is run by Vantage Circle. I mean, but branded as Winner Circle inside the company. They're using this platform to drive those 5 behaviors on a continuous basis. Okay, reinforcing it again and again, recognizing people for this, showing up these behaviors. And then they have integrated with Microsoft Teams, Copilot, and all those things. They have done this through which they are continuously reinforcing. So there we are definitely seeing a change which is happening. While I'll not have the answer to what changes finally at their end they're saying, but we are seeing the change in the recognition behaviors. Okay, which are the behaviors being recognized on that?
Got it. Got it. Got it. Because some of the content from your content resources that I was reading and consuming, you've mentioned about the rise in earning per share on aspects of investing in employee engagement, investing in recognition programs. If it has that much impact on things, which I believe it does, you know how do we get more and more organizations to convert and put more amount of effort and time into doing this?
I think sometimes it's very difficult to companies to think about that much of earning. But one is data.
Yes.
See all the data which is there.
Yeah.
It shows that it is there. Now it is not just recognition program. Okay, I mean there are like multiple
Of
factors
course.
which are there which affects it, but this is something which is a low hanging fruit. Okay, and if you just understand that no one dislikes recognition, societal changes are there. Everything is around recognition.
Yeah.
I mean, as I said again, I'm repeating it. The likes and the comments are recognition for people. People are craving for the recognition. Okay, every social media is making you crave more and more for the recognition, right? We have been CVs where we were putting in, I was the awarded the best team member. 25-year-old CVs also had that thing, best team on this thing. Who knows how whether they were got it or not? But at least they're putting up. They're craving for recognition. This is a low-hanging fruit. It is not about budgets, which is there. I think it can be implemented with technology now. Not just us. There are other players who have this technology who's allowing it to happen. And it might not have been successful at certain stages of your growth, but today the technology has fallen into place. How do you make it easy?
Yeah.
How do you make it valuable to them? You don't care about a Facebook birthday wish, right? But so it's like a recognition, kuch aa raha hai, pata nahi kya hai, kind of thing, right? But if you make it valuable,
Yeah.
that is where it can be really effective. And we are seeing it. And with the AI thing coming in with I had to add in AI somewhere. Yes. So if
How do we complete a
how
conversation
do you
without
come
that, right? Today,
Yes.
we won't sound intelligent.
Yes, of course. So the AI with this tool, the Copilot, which we are using, Microsoft
Yes.
Copilot, and now, is seeing it can be a very, very powerful, technology is now falling into place to provide this, make this recognition very powerful.
Hmm. What's going to change next 5 to 8 years? What's going to change in this space as per you?
In the space of like
In the space of talent, the way we reward, recognize, the way we drive employee engagement, motivation, are there some fundamental changes that you are seeing coming forward in the next 5 to 8 years, especially in this space?
Yeah, so I think the usage of technology will definitely increase. You might be surprised. You might say that we already have so much. AI is new thing, but at least we have so many other things. You'd be surprised when you go into. I mean, I know in this market when I go into what people are not using. I mean, these are like basics. You say, what you're doing it this way in an
Yeah.
Excel sheet. This is how you're doing
On an
it.
email.
And not a small company. These are large companies. Okay, you'll be thinking these are technology companies. Okay, and you'd be surprised. Okay, so I think it is now inevitable.
Okay.
The technology, nothing new, but I say that technology will become very, very important on that. The second part is I think we have to segment it out very well. There'll be remote workers, there'll be different generations, there'll be different locations which are there. As you, in a previous question which you asked about, different geographies, how do we engage with them, right? So we say, oh, it doesn't work in, this policy doesn't work. Yes, it will not work across. Okay, you have to look at it different segmenting, and it will become very easy to segment it with the technology which is there. So I think, and the third is this whole. I mean, people have to look at engagement in a different way. Oh, I had done everything and you still left me.
Yeah.
But it is like, we are married, we were in love, and now we divorce. Okay, but doesn't mean that we were not engaged at that time, right? I mean, I was not cheating at that time, right? And after we divorced, I had my different partner. That's a different thing. But as long as you're in love, as long as you're in a relationship, you have to be in love. Okay, so if I look at this thing about company, no one's going to work with you for 20 years. Yeah. Okay, maybe they will work for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, okay, whatever that is. We have to accept it. But within those 5 years, are you totally engaged? Okay, people still ask us, will it help in reducing attrition? I said, no, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. There's so many factors which will affect attrition there. But forget about attrition. But at least the 3 years or 5 years they are there with you, will they be really in love with you at that time? Okay.
Connected with you.
At that time, are they contributing? That is all. After 5 years, they will go on, okay, to some other place.
Yeah.
So we have to change the lens of thinking about a recognition program or an engagement programs which help cut down attrition. I think attrition is a byproduct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And there are different ways of looking at attrition as well. Some of them see some part of that as healthy attrition. So I think that's a different discussion altogether. What's the role of hyper personalization, you feel? Because now with the new workforce coming into play, Gen Z having a huge play in that, the aspirations are also changing. What matters to them is changing. So how we reward, how does that change in the next 5 years?
Yeah. So hyper personalization is, it's, forget about hyper personalization. I think even if you personalize it to a certain extent, I think is going to be important. And I say, so technology helps. So uh, if you wait for Facebook, just giving an analogy here, if you're just waiting for Facebook to send a happy birthday wish to your friend, okay, automatically it will send, right? That's not personalization, right? But if Facebook is there just to remind Pushkar that it's Partha's birthday today, do you want to wish him today? Now you had forgotten about him.
Yes.
Now you just say Partha WhatsApping me and saying, hey, happy birthday today. I'll be like so much happy on that. Personalization means the other person thinks it's not automated. It is someone is actually putting 1 minute for me, writing something to me, and you're personalizing. The technology will help. I'll give you an example on the co-pilot thing, which is happening, the AI part. So today we have the system in place where it can actually go through your entire M365, your emails, your documents, and everything, depending on the company policies, and say, Pushkar has done these three things. He has been appreciated a lot in the emails going conversations, but you haven't appreciated him.
Publicly on a domain.
You haven't appreciated him. It prompts me. Okay. Now I'll say, okay, what has he done? It'll tell you this things he has done. Okay. All right. Help me compose a message. Now people can't write a message. Eh? It's a very difficult task. People writing messages. So if you have those cards, no, but people write happy birthday everywhere, right? They don't write more things because it's difficult to write there.
That's what Archie's did for us, right?
Exactly.
It gave us vocabulary to communicate something that I feel to the other individual.
Correct. And there it was like you're trying to there also someone else wrote, but you selected the right card, right? That was the personalization which was there. So here the tool is now saying that, okay, this is the you should appreciate Pushkaras for this thing. Okay, compose a message. Okay, I'll compose a message, but what do you what all characteristics do you want to highlight there? All right, his ownership, his responsibility, whatever, the responsiveness. Okay. It creates a message, helps it. It is still, everything is done automated, but you are putting the effort to personalize it for the other person. Okay, a machine cannot do it. Otherwise, it will be your Facebook birthday wish, which has some value, but not really as personalized.
Yeah. No, and that is so true because can the tech really enable me to do that in a better way? I think that's a more beautiful way to sort of look at it, rather than saying that, you know what, I'm going to set a auto piece on that on that AI to just go and do wishes for my behalf, or just take care of things on my behalf. It's going to be transactional in nature.
It has got to be an enabler, and this is what is going to happen, not just in a narrow sense of the rewards and recognition. I think the entire thing with the AI, with all the anxiety which is coming in there, my total belief is it's an enabler. Productivity increases. When a productivity increases, you don't do less, you do more. Okay. Every stages of our evolution, you have been doing more with productivity. Never people said, okay, now we've got industrial revolution, so let's sit down and enjoy it. No, they're doing more. Now you're doing more. So what is next more? Maybe next you will not be thinking about analyzing some data or going through Excel sheet, all those things. Instead of that, next you'll be thinking how to go to the Mars, how to go to Mars. So you will be doing more and more on that. Okay, so AI will of course cut down jobs and all those things which will be there, but it will become more productive. Once you become more productive, you do more. You don't do less.
Yeah. Can AI look at patterns on the rewarding items as well? So, for example, as a manager, I might not know that what reward might excite Partha. But the AI actually observing behaviors of Partha and said, hey, actually these two or three things might be far more attractive, or they are at the back of his or her mind, uh, that if you reward this, I think that satisfaction will be much more higher.
It can do. It can definitely, because ultimately it's just learning from the data,
Correct.
right? Do you have enough data on that? Okay, that is it. How many times do you reward someone? But you might have patterns. For example, the Partha is in, I'm in Gen X or something, maybe baby boomers or whatever. I'm in a generation. So let's say so this.
Let's put it millennials for that now.
Are we? Okay, that's a good thing. So millennials like this kind of things. So
Yeah.
they might be able to put up pattern of those things, but not at a very individual level, because at least in our space you will not have that much data. But I always say, वो बाद में देखेंगे. पहले तो recognize तो कर लो, thank you तो बोल दो, right? वो कौन सा reward है, get into the habit before you start thinking of solving all your problems with AI. At least with AI, at least recognize the people, make it valuable for them, make it easy for your managers to give out the recognitions. If we do that, then we will solve the next part of it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. And the tech will play its own role to enable.
yeah.
Yeah. How much is well-being contributing in this entire piece? And I know a lot of organizations are trying to do. You've had some play in that as well. How much of a game changer this is going to be, especially from a lifestyle standpoint, rising aspiration, and overall engagement and motivation?
See, well-being, if you define it, it depends on how you define the well-being. I think that has to be in Wipro, for example, even the recognition is part of their well-being strategy. Okay.
Talk more.
Yeah. So it is because they feel that if people are recognized for their work, they'll be happy, they'll be more enthusiastic. It's part of their overall well-being. Now, I slog myself on this work, never an appreciation from my manager, affects my mental health. Okay. And that is where we see that well-being is going to be, see, it was always important, okay, but today it's also more fragile. And it's not an individual's fault, okay. I'll not say it's my son is in class 10th, okay. So he behaves very differently than what I was in class 10, okay. So is his upbringing bad? At least I don't think it is bad, okay. But it is a society, okay. That is how it has evolved. On that, so right now, maybe you need to appreciate, you need to show that appreciation, okay. My father might not have held my mother's hands ever in public, okay. I don't remember him ever doing that in public, but I do, okay. Still less, according to my wife, but I'm pretty sure my children would be much more, public affection would be displayed for them. So they need that. Okay, in the corporate world also, you will need that kind of appreciation. You might think, why kaam kar diya, paisa de diya, khatam na, kya karna hai. So I think this is all part of the well-being part of it. It is the focus is going to be there. You just have to define it a little bit broader instead of, the health checkups and all those things there.
Yeah. Perfect. I think we've covered a huge array of topics and discussions. But as Partha's entrepreneur, if you were to look back on the entire journey, would you have done something different? If you were to go back and redo the journey, if you get a chance to go back in time, would you do something different?
Yeah, I think I would have. It's in hindsight, but in the entrepreneurial journey, maybe I would have focused from the very beginning on a slightly longer term thing. I think I would have been able to save at least 5 years in this journey. Okay, we were thinking like next 2 years, next 1 year, what to do. If I had already said that, okay, 10 years is our horizon. We have to get there. Then we would have got there in a slightly faster manner, because here we were always firefighting to the next level. But I don't think I would have been aware about it at that time. If I had not done, maybe I would not have come to this stage. Okay, so I the caterpillar becomes a butterfly, right? By it breaks the shell. right? And that effort in breaking the shell actually makes it better, right? So if I had not gone through this, maybe I would not have been at the stage today. Okay, maybe if my success had come earlier. I mean, again, I'm just saying to be humble. It's not like we are in the success. We are relatively successful from where we were. Okay, if we had not done this thing, I'm not sure whether I would have been still enjoying the journey. Maybe I would not have. I would have like, okay, I've achieved this thing.
I've
Okay,
arrived.
I've arrived. Okay, now it's like, यार 50 साल हो गया, ठीक है, kind of we've done this part of it. So I have changed some things, but I think overall I'm happy in the way things turned out. It could have gone the other way also. Okay, there's a survival bias which is there, right? So you might think that we have survived that, but 90% didn't survive, right? They had to go away. No one's hearing their stories on that, and we are lucky on that. Okay, we have been lucky that we have survived on this phase, and I contribute a huge part to the luck thing, which is.
Awesome. And our best wishes on the journey of Partha and Vantage Circle and the team behind it. I think you guys are doing some tremendous work, making all of us proud. This is I always get excited about stories that happen from the people and workspace, starting from India and building across different countries, different continents. And I think that story of grit, staying, survival, and building all the nights that you've given, the weekends that you've given to create an institution that can further now flourish means a lot. Our best wishes for you to build that globally.
Thank you, Pushkar, and thank you, People Matters. As I said, like there's a direct connection to where People Matters have helped us in the past, and I think you guys have been doing a tremendous work in overall building the whole HR community and the main topics in this area for HR to focus. I think a tremendous job in India, and of course you are in other countries. I haven't seen you in other countries, but India, I think you are, of course, the leading guys.
Yeah. Close to 9 countries now and evolving. Our goal is to take that journey, that mission global across the world. But yeah, one step at a time. That's the way we look at it. Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pushkar.